Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
You represent chunky moves. Can you just briefly describe yourself? Tell us who you are, what do you do?
I'm the director of Chunky Move. It's a dance company. I founded the company in
1995.
You already. And I've been its artistic director to date. And I also am the choreographer and creator of Mortal Engine, and that's the performance we'll be showing here in Hong Kong. Well, I, as a dancer and choreographer and having an interest in art, I studied a little bit of art and dance history when I was younger, and I found that a lot of works that have been created are very much concerned with the idealism of the human condition. My experience in life is that life is not ideal, it's kind of messy, and I try to show in my work this kind of world.
Do you think that helps you and also helps the audience to, realize themselves? Through, the performance, or, they help them to reveal what they feel inside?
I think so, because even though the work is not narrative, it's not a story, it's very human, and there is a sense of, I think people can relate to a lot of the things that are going on in the piece, sometimes as a form of imagination and sometimes as real situations between people.
So when you train the dancer, do you also need to train how they can express their emotion and a little difference from a normal dance performance? Because more or less they need to know how exactly they're supposed to feel in that particular scene.
Well, we try to find movements and ways of moving and positions that kind of naturally become representative of emotional states. So they don't really have to act, it's not like a sense of being something in a particular state, but I think it's the construction of the dance itself that creates that environment, and that's absolutely then supported by the music and sound and video to create a concert of the work is not just a dance show, it's really a concert between the human body, between light and between sound, and the three forms work together to create these suspensions of disbelief.
And how did you start having the idea of combining all the movement together with projection, and each kind of pattern of projection, do they have a particular meaning to you as well?
Well, I don't have ideas as such to start with. We begin by experimenting in the studio, so we spend a lot of time in the studio with the people, other artists who are creating this kind of work, and together we really find things that interest us, and sometimes the form itself informs us what it is. Sometimes I have an idea of what I want, and we try to find that in the video or in dance. So it's a back and forth kind of process.
But at the same time as you're directing the show, but also you work in a team.
Yeah.
And also your work is about something very personal as well.
Yeah.
So your choices, do you often find the dancer and the rest of the group agree with you, or they don't sometimes as well?
I would say most of the time we tend to agree with each other. I think we tend to feel what works, and when something works, I think people respond to it collectively. And sometimes we don't agree on, maybe a way of doing something, and we really try to resolve that. And I certainly try to listen to, what people are saying, what opinions they have, because I'm not always right. My opinion obviously is subjective like anybody else's, but I think it's important for me anyway to understand other opinions, and so sometimes I think to go in one direction and a few people think it's another, and often, after a while I'll tend to agree with them, sometimes not.
Okay, great. Just use personality, if you need to describe the kind of dance that you performing, can you give it a personality?
Well, it's very expressive. It's very visceral, meaning that you don't just watch it kind of with a gentle appreciation or a kind of an intellectual appreciation. The sound and the visuals is so big, it affects you through your body and as much as your mind. Well, the experience is it's as sensory as it is electrical. Like your body receives this show. You receive the show right through your whole body rather than just your eyes and your ears and your mind. And that's kind of an important part of my work, that coming to one of my performances live, the experience is a strong experience that cannot be experienced in any other way. It can't be done through video, it can't be done through anything else. You need to physically be there.
Do you recommend also, like us also take up this kind of like activity just to, as I say, as a therapy for express your feeling and. I mean, like, do you recommend? Normal person, not
Yes.
a particular dancer, to involve in this kind of activity dance and whatever to discover themselves and also treat it as a therapy.
Well, I don't think that the mind and body are ever two separated kind of entities. That our emotions are greatly affected by our physical states, and our physical states are greatly affected by our emotions. So I think for me it's very important that I'm very active, physically active, and doing things like yoga and meditation and surfing and dancing, activities like that, which really affect me physically, but also mentally and emotionally, and give me a very, much more positive, great response. It's a very urban environment, so it's restricted to some degree, but there's a lot of things people can and still do here. I see it every morning. I see the Tai Chi in the morning, and you can see a whole lot of people involved in stuff.
I think it's almost time for you to go.
Yes, I think.
Thanks very much for the interview.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay, thank you.